who are new to the Interreg South Baltic Programme. Today's event will be full of learning as it is dedicated to the future programming period, and of course I promise to have some fun. Before we start, I would like to pay your attention on some technicalities. I would like to ask each of you to rename yourself, to put your name, surname, and name of the institution or project you represent. Also, please keep your microphones muted during the event. Also, I would like to ask you to have your cameras off, so we only have our speakers and panelists of today's event visible. In case you have some questions, you're welcome to ask it in the chat box. And as it was informed during the registration to the event, it will be recorded. So I will not take more time with these technical issues. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Magdalena Bednarczyk-Sokół, who is Deputy Director of the Territorial Cooperation Department of Ministry of Development Funds and Regional Policy, which is the managing authority of our program. Please, Magdalena, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Magdalena Bednarczyk-Sokół, and I'm Deputy Director in the Polish Ministry of Development Funds and Regional Policy. I've been working with the Interreg programs since 2008, but for the last 4 years, more closely with the South Baltic family. So it is really great pleasure today, on behalf of the Managing Authority, to welcome all of you at the Interreg South Baltic Annual Event. I welcome project representatives, colleagues representing the national coordinators from Sweden, Denmark, Lithuania, Netherlands, Poland, European Baltic, but also representatives of South Baltic regions and local authorities from all 5 countries involved in the program. Let me also welcome the representative of the European Commission, Mrs. Eva Skidulita. Thank you, Eva, for joining us today. I'm really glad to see you all despite the circumstances of COVID-19. I believe that the meeting will be a good opportunity to share results of the project implemented in the current South Baltic program, as well as to exchange opinions and expectations about the upcoming program for the period 2021-2027. Together in the South Baltic program, we are implementing many great projects which show the real added value of cross-border cooperation across the sea. We are involved in plenty of projects in the field of internationalization, digitization, networking, transport, and tourism as well. And all of them have a common goal: to exchange knowledge and experience to solve problems which we share in the program area. The projects also aim to promote green and blue growth in the South Baltic region. Thanks to the current program, we can effectively help each other by strengthening cooperation. And we see that each project selected for co-financing contributes to building a recognizable brand of the South Baltic region and the program itself, and we really appreciate it. Today, we will hear more about your individual stories being a part of the implemented projects, but also our colleagues from the program institutions will share some curiosities regarding program implementation. This event is also an occasion to discuss future possibilities and directions of cross-border cooperation with our program. Thanks to the experts' analysis and the joint programming committee's work, we've been able to shape a draft on the new South Baltic Programme for the next programming period. And our strong conviction is that we are united by the sea into action for the blue and green future, and we wish the South Baltic to be innovative, sustainable, attractive, and active. And to do so, we decided to focus the support of the future program on innovations, sustainable development, internationalization of SMEs, and multi-sectoral cooperation beyond borders. The program will also promote projects aiming to enhance the competitiveness and resilience of entities and regional economies. But we also concentrate on promoting renewable energy, water management, and transition to the circular economy. Besides that, sustainable tourism activities will be also promoted, and we will continue to strengthen cross-border cooperation capacities. Dear colleagues, our programming process is at the final stage now. In the upcoming weeks, we are going to approve the program document and start national approval procedures in all 5 participating member states. And after that, we will be ready to submit the program to the Commission for its approval. But at the same time, we are interested in hearing about your expectations and ideas for possible future projects. We will be needing them starting from the very first calls. And I believe that many of them will reveal from the still ongoing Sigma call for proposals. Dear project beneficiaries and program partners and friends, I wish you fruitful discussions during this annual event. I hope that this meeting will be inspiring to you and will allow for sharing ideas, which will bring added value for our program now and in the near future. Have a great and nice time today. Thank you for the attention, and Christina, I hand over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Magdalena. And now I would like to invite Dominika Budkiewicz, the head of the Joint Secretariat. Dominika was at the forefront of our program. So Dominika, please go ahead.
Thank you, Magdalena. Thank you, Christina, for starting the event. So now is my turn for the welcome. I would like to warmly welcome participants of the event, project partners, all the speakers, representatives of the monitoring and programming committees, managing authority, so all who create this big South Baltic family. I am very happy we can see each other today celebrating next year of the program. The South Baltic 2014-2020 is almost finalized. You, dear beneficiaries, invented 90 project ideas, including seed money projects. 39 regular projects from 64 contracted has been completed with the successes. Still, as many of you know, the seed money call is open to give opportunity for the project ideas development. What can I say? So, being ready for the slow program closure, we all look into the future. And what we will have in the future. Let's have some facts about it and some important information to have a good start with this conference. This is already the 3rd edition of the program, so we have a lot of experience, all of us, a lot of good networks created. So let's say now the 3 or maybe some few more important information about the future program. So the offered budget, it is almost 84 million euro from the ERDF fund. This is what the program can ensure for the beneficiaries and for its actions. The planned level of co-financing for beneficiaries is 80% of the eligible expenditure. However, we have to all remember that still the program is not finally approved by the Joint Programming Committee and by the European Commission. So still some steps are in front of us. The program, like previous editions, is relatively small in comparison to the other programs in financial terms, but covers coastal regions from 5 member states with the specific territorial conditions. And then, if we are talking about the program area, so it will stay the same. We all hope that the extension of the program area will be possible. So the Olsztyński region inclusion is being requested to the European Commission to be added as the program eligible area. Looking into future program priorities, we have to be united by the sea to act for the future region development. And then what is new? We have 4 new program priorities, which are called Innovative South Baltic, Sustainable South Baltic, Attractive South Baltic, and Active South Baltic. And what is inside of those? So the main focus in the first one will be given to the innovation and internationalization of the local actors, but as well to the digitalization of the actions. The Sustainable South Baltic is mainly about the Green Deal proposed by the European Commission, with the issues connected to the energy and water management, as well as with the focus to the circular economy. And here, this is the biggest allocation proposed for this program priority. So we can expect the biggest amount of the projects for the Sustainable South Baltic. If we are talking about the Attractive South Baltic, here we will have the activities in the tourism sector, but as well some activities in the culture sectors also will be possible. And then the last one, the Active South Baltic, the smallest one. However, we have a focus here for the territorial cooperation governments, capacity building of the local actors, and engagement of the civil society. This is the main important 4 pillars of the program. And now what is the plan for the future, and what is the future timeline? So the public consultations of the draft program document and the strategic environmental assessment report was held by the program bodies and by the regions until 15th of October of this year. And now, after the collection of all the remarks, the approval of the final document by the Joint Programming Committee is expected to be done on 16th of November this year. And then, after some governmental activities, the submission of the program to the European Commission is planned until end of January for the next year. And then, being optimistic and having good thoughts about the new program, the launching of the new program, of the new Interreg South Baltic program, is predicted to be in the 2nd quarter of the next year. This is what I wanted to say about the future, and also a few words about the current program, which is going to be finalized. I wish all of us very good event, good discussions, good workshops. So what I can say, let's have a good event. Krysia, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dominika, for this very informative presentation and inspiring words. And we would like to continue our event with some warm-up activity. And for this, I would like to ask my colleague Mate to launch a Mentimeter. And what is needed from you is to take your phone or any other device and to go to menti.com and also to type the code which you can see on the top of the screen. Either you can join Menti via the link which appeared in the chat. Also, please tap on the heart on the screen after you type the code or launch via browser, so we can see how many people we have. Okay, so now it's 13 participants. Please be more active, as we would like to ask you a very important question for us, and your feedback will be very valuable. Let's wait a few more seconds. Actually, we are going to ask you what do you like about South Baltic Programme, and we would like to see your comments. So please log in. Your comments will be very, very valuable for us. If you're not, you can't register from your phone or a device, you can use the link in the chat. Okay, we have over 50 participants. I think we can start with the question. So the question is, what do you like about the South Baltic Programme? Let's wait a few seconds for the first answers. Okay, we have the first answer: community, cooperation, networking, regional collaboration, meeting people, soft-oriented tasks, possibility to operate in, good atmosphere. Thank you very much for your activity. Nice. So I can see that the most valuable thing is a possibility to cooperate. Thank you very much for your comments. It gave us plenty of insight, and I do hope that you feel more energetic after this activity. As Dominika already mentioned, the current program period slowly comes to the end, and 39 out of 64 regular projects were already finished. And of course, we can already see the first results of cross-border cooperation and its impact on program area and on local society. So therefore, we would like to share with you success story of Morpheus project. So I would like to ask my colleague Mate to play the video. So I think after this video, we are more conscious to take and utilize medicine wisely to decrease the negative impact on environment and the Baltic Sea. So still we have a lot to cover today, and we should begin with our panel discussion. It will be dedicated to future of the Interreg South Baltic Programme. And the panel is organized in a way that our beneficiaries will interview our program representatives. And during the registration to the event, you had possibility to ask questions, and we try to select those which are the most relevant to the topic of the event. Other questions will be answered in a summary article of the event, which will be published on our website. And of course, you're also welcome to contact the JS staff directly in case of additional questions. And you are free to type your questions in the chat box. So I would like to introduce two project representatives who will moderate today's panel. Unfortunately, Daimante and Christopher will not join us today due to unpredictable circumstances. So two project representatives are Monika Klein, who is chairperson in media design, which is association in Poland, which participates in numerous of our projects, and David Appelberg, who represents Blue Science Park in Karlskrona, Sweden. So Monika and David, thank you very much for being with us today. The floor is yours. Please also tell us a few words about the projects you represent.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, and thank you for having us here. My name is Monika Klein, as I also introduced. I'm from Szczecin, and I represent the organization that calls Media Design. And as Christina said, in few projects in South Baltic. My history with the South Baltic Programme is already 10 years. So like very many projects behind me, and I hope the future is bright and I will still continue the cooperation. The current project I have is the project that calls Creative Cluster. So we're cooperating with Germany, Sweden and Lithuania on boosting the creative industry in our regions. And another one is Johanna, and Johanna is more about the competences in the maritime tourism sector. So we prepared the trainings for the city guides and also the cruise brokers. So this is my story. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Monika. My name is, good morning, fellow Europeans. My name is David, or David in English, Appelberg, and I'm the project manager for SECMAR. And SECMAR is a project diving into the world of cybersecurity in relation to the maritime industry. It's my first Interreg project. And Blue Science Park, where I work with the lead partner and the project manager of this. I'm based in Karlskrona, in the beautiful region of Blekinge. It's at the southeastern tip of Sweden. There you will find us, if you look on a map, a city completely surrounded by water and World Heritage by UNESCO. Wonderful to be here today, and thank you for having me. Monika, do you want to introduce the panelists as well?
Yeah. Shall I do that, or Christina, you will do this?
Please, Monika, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. So we have today Magda Leszczyna-Rzucidło. She is the head of the European Baltic International Permanent Secretariat.
Yes, hello everyone.
Alexander Szwok, German contact point of the Interreg South Baltic Programme for Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Do we have Alexander with us?
Hello, yes, I have some technical problems, but I try to solve them, but I'm here.
Yeah. Thank you, nice to see you. Michał Ostrowski, Program Officer at the Joint Secretariat of the Interreg South Baltic Programme.
Hello, good morning everybody.
Hello. And Daimante, do we have a Daimante? And then it's just, you know, like my Lithuanian pronunciation, sorry for that. Jankunaite.
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
The head of the,
yeah, okay.
Head of the Territorial Cooperation Programs Unit of the Regional Policy Department of the Ministry of the Interior of the Republic of Lithuania. Nice to have you and warm welcome. So we will have tough questions to you today. You know, like it's our pleasure to ask you these questions. And first question I will ask Magda. I know that you are involved in very many projects concerned the young people and the involvement of the young people in the transnational cooperation. And I would like to ask you how the next programming period will involve young people and how the young people were involved in this programming process.
Yes, thank you for this question. Indeed, in Euro-region Baltic, not only we have our ERB Youth Board, which consists of young people coming from all South Baltic area ERB members, so most of the South Baltic program countries, but we also engage a lot of young beneficiaries coming from our regions to different types of projects. And Euro-region Baltic was actively participating in youth-oriented projects in the former program perspective. These were the projects like YCGN, CASIPOT, so different projects where it was young people who were in the center of activities, and they were the ones who were meeting, discussing, creating common documents. For instance, in CASIPOT project, they were talking about why is it important to make sure for municipalities and regions that young people stay after school in their region, do not go away, or if they go away, let's say for studying, then they come back later. So what to do in order to make these regions attractive? In South Baltic area, we all have similar challenges. So we're mostly rural areas. There are no huge metropolis. So there is this tendency that young people, they go away from here and they come back only for weekends or holidays. So we've been talking with youngsters what to do in order to prevent this situation and to make it better for the future. And this is just one of the examples. And during the programming perspective, in Euro-region Baltic, we've been organizing a lot of meetings like focus group meetings or discussion about the future of the South Baltic program. And every time there was the discussion, we make sure to engage our youth board representatives. So young people who gave us their perspective on each topic discussed. And it was not like adding youth perspective to South Baltic program, but making sure that every thematic area we are talking about within the South Baltic program is like this also discussed from the youth perspective, because it's not like adding youth as something additional, but it's like engaging youth as they're a part of the process. And we try to do that. We ask them many times for their questions, for their opinion. We know that the new program is very much welcoming to young participants and do projects who will also engage young people and make sure that they are active within the South Baltic area, that they work here, that they create projects that they see important for them. So I would say, yeah, invite youth from the very beginning and make sure that their voice is heard, and yeah, just include them to all thematic areas, because, you know, green growth is as much related to young people as it is to us, maybe even a bit more, because it's their future that we're talking about mostly. And young people has really great ideas, and then they are very creative and very sensitive when it comes to, for instance, environmental or water issues. So it's really good to have their opinion. And yeah, for the future program perspective, I think it will be extremely important to also make sure that a lot of youth NGOs and young local activists are engaged as project beneficiaries, as project partners, as participants to different South Baltic activities.
Thank you very much, Magda, for that. And I also like share this, your perspective that, you know, involving the young people, not as only the voice from outside, but as active members of this community, it's our future. So thank you very much for that. And I would like to remind all the participants that if you have some more questions to what we said here, or what Magda said, or other panelists, or additional question, you can type it in the chat and we will ask it later. David.
Yeah, thank you. This is a question back to you, Magda, again, from your perspective of an experience being on the Umbrella project, which supported unexperienced future projects, newcomers and small actors. How would the program like to support small entities in applying for funds? Do you have any plan or solutions for them?
Yes, thank you for that question. Indeed, during the previous programming period, Euroregion Baltic was leading the project called Umbrella, and Umbrella was a 3-year-long project boosting the capacities of small and local actors in the South Baltic area. And we see that there is still a great need to do it, to continue these activities. So not only we plan to organize, will apply for new umbrella projects and similar activities, but we also see that there is now a good moment to engage more newcomers to the program. Because during the joint programming committee, where I have a pleasure to represent Euroregion Baltic and our Euroregions delegation, we talk a lot about the fact that we need, the fresh blood. We need new people, new ideas. We need new institutions to the program. It's great that there are some who are already well aware of what's happening within the program and how to use its tools and possibilities, but we also need the newcomers. And I think the word newcomers and small and local actors, as our beneficiary, it was really underlined during most of the programming meetings where I took part in. And I took part in all of them. So really it was underlined. And I think it's great because if you are still not sure whether you should engage the South Baltic Programme, well, I can tell you now is the time, because there will be so many different types of actions and activities where you can relate. There will be this active South Baltic, objective, which is like ideal for small and local actors if they think about, going out there, networking, meet your other project partners, and we will help them hopefully with umbrella related activities. But I know there are contact points who are so active in each South Baltic area, and they also target the newcomers and small and local actors, and they have a great knowledge about what's happening within the program, what projects are in pipeline, and maybe whom could be connected with whom, and so on and so on. So there is a lot of activities, and I would say, this is now the moment, to engage people who were not engaged until now. And you can still use some of the umbrella toolbox and results of our project, because they are there. You can find everything in internet. You can contact us at Euroregion Baltic and our partners, and we will be very happy to help. But also you can be sure that we're not saying the end. We're saying, this is still a process that we want to do, and we hope to engage more people, with the new programming period, helping them to meet, to organize so-called micro activities, cross-border events, because we see there is a great need for people to meet again, meet for the first time, to talk with other similar organizations like them, and to see that participating in South Baltic Programme may be a challenge, but it's a great challenge, and you should take it with a big dose of enthusiasm, because it's not that hard. It's actually a great program, and you will appreciate if you actually dare to try. So I think it's good time for everyone to start working with the program if they haven't done it yet.
Thank you very much, Magda. I just want to, while I have you on the line, so to speak, we got a question in the chat as well. Could you have some examples of initiatives for youth, which you mentioned?
Yeah, when it comes to youth, as I said, within the Kasipot project, young people were working on workshops in 4 program country areas, and they were thinking how to engage young actors on municipal level. And the best result of it is the fact that we have new youth city councils established in some of these cities, for instance, in Elbląg, but not only there. So we actually made sure that this is a process that, even though the project ended, is still going. And based on the Elbląg example, it's going out very well. And it's like the project was the first step, like a small push for young people, you know, a support to them, how to start, how to organize themselves. And now they, after, you know, the project ended, they are very well and capable of doing it on their own. And we also see that municipalities are very conscious about how important it is to engage young people to the, like for instance, to participatory budgeting processes or to decision-making processes, and they actually invite these young people, these groups. So I would say, yeah, organize meeting dedicated to young people, make sure that they have a comfortable space where they can speak out, where they can discuss, have fun, because everything is important. You know, you have to have everything during this meeting, and they will see how great it is, and they will come back.
Thank you very much, Magda.
Yeah, thank you very much, Magda. And now we will ask like some like more general question, like on the macro level, and how this macro perspective influence the project owners. So I have a question to Michał, and the question is, what is the importance of the EU SBSR implementation for the future program, and how it will affect the project owners?
Thank you for that question. Good morning, everybody, one more time. I think to talk about the importance of the EU SBSR strategy implementation in the future program, it must be first said how important the strategy has been so far. As we said, the majority of the 64 regular projects which were being implemented within the Interreg South Baltic Programme 2014-2020 contributed to the execution of the strategy objectives, and the South Baltic Programme provided substantial input to this implementation of the strategy through joint actions, increasing the competitiveness of the regions and enhancing integration among inhabitants and institutions. The projects co-funded under the program addressed as many as I think 12 out of 14 priority areas in the strategy setup. Program supported also activities directly reinforcing the development of the South Baltic microregion as a distinction. The 7 projects were also granted with the flagship status of the strategy, and those projects, I mean Interconnect, BioBig, Morpheus, Baltic Sea Tourism Center, Inno Aquatech, and Attractive Hardwoods, and also BBVET. So 7 projects got this special status of the flagship. The Interreg South Baltic 2021-27 operational program also stays in synergy with the revised strategy and will play an active role in its implementation. The program measures are strongly linked to the main goals of the strategy, to save the sea, connect the region, and increase prosperity. We can also identify direct strong links to the policy areas of the strategy and complementarity with the program measures. I think unfortunately we don't have enough time to present all of them, but I can give you one good example. Program measure 2.1 contributes to the policy area energy by supporting transitions towards green energy, and it's dedicated to projects concerning developing demonstrating and implementing green energy solutions in production and storage of energy, as well as elaboration of green policy strategies, also aims at facilitation and popularization of use of alternative energy sources such as wind, solar, I think biomass, water, and other renewable energy sources. Coming back to the second part of the question, which was how the strategy will affect project owners in the future program. As it was in the current perspective, the program does not favor anyhow projects contributing to the strategy, and all projects are assessed according to the same principle as other regular projects. But we do encourage projects to create connections to the strategy and its action plan where is of course possible. In particular, I mean potential links to the strategy policy areas and horizontal actions that include actions and flagships should be I think carefully looked at and considered. The South Baltic Programme welcomes proposals that are regarded as flagships and or constitutes parts of flagships of the EU strategy action plan. The connection to the strategy can be especially beneficial to projects that have a local or regional origin, but also strategic potential in the cross-border perspective. The link to the strategy can create new opportunities with regard to, for example, cross-program cooperation, visibility, dissemination, capitalization, but also political lobbying, I think, and follow-up activities or even commercialization of jointly developed solutions. So we had examples in the past of that type of activities. Thank you. Thank you for that question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And the next question goes back to you as well, as you've been involved in creating the future program perspective as well. How does future thematic fields differ from themes in the current program? Is there an extension of the program thematic portfolio plan?
Yes, as we heard today, this is the third edition of the program and is by no means a pilot anymore. The program, like previous editions, is quite relatively small in financial terms, but this time the program strategy was developed on the basis of socioeconomic and SWOT analysis, and this time focuses more on exploiting the strengths and opportunities of the South Baltic area than on its limitations. What we have jointly identified perfectly illustrates the new program motto, which was already mentioned today: united by the sea into action for a blue and green future. And this motto directly translates into 4 new priorities, which were mentioned: innovative, sustainable, attractive, and active South Baltic. And as you could see and hear today, the new program will be more thematically targeted, but still focuses on innovation, internationalization, sustainable green development, and better cooperation, as well as tourism and cultural heritage. We are also eager to build together with you on the experience from the previous program perspective, because program keeps the focus on small and local institutions, follow the people-to-people character of the future projects as well. And South Baltic still provides fields for investment, such as small pilot activities. What is new then? We put stronger accent in the set of the new, the accent is set to the promotion of the renewable energy, as it was mentioned, also to sustainable water management, transition to a circular economy, and biodiversity protection. There is no separate priority directly related to transport issues and employees' competences. However, transport, in example, is hidden in the specific measure 1.1, digitizing the region, which means that development and implementation of cross-border solutions for the digitization of for example, public services like new electronic services for transport, and I mean common ticket is allowed, for example, as well as interdepartmental processes, in example for maritime sector, logistics in passenger and freight transport, but also I think learning methods like web tools and applications are welcome. What is completely new, even for us, and what is worth to emphasize is that the will of the Joint Programming Committee was to introduce for the first time small and medium-sized enterprises, which means they could directly participate in the program as beneficiaries. Thank you. I think that's.
Yeah, it was lots of information. Thank you very much, Michał. You mentioned that already. You said about this Green Deal, let's say, and like the focus of the new program on this ecological stuff and like dealing with the nature. And I will jump from you to Deimante, and I will ask, that you can maybe explain us a little more in the details how the program focus on the Green Deal, and if focus at all on the Green Deal, and how the Green Deal influenced the new perspective, new program.
Thank you, Monica, for this question. Yes, as you already had today, so it's it already was mentioned that it's special attention is given to our environment, as we have common Baltic Sea, yes, and all, I suppose 26, yes, not 3 regions, we will be involved in our program implementation from 5 different EU member states. So yes, when we have prepared the program document, so it was very special attention was given to this issue and to this topic, and bearing in mind that all areas covered by the program are within EU, and it is assumed that also national legislation and the policy or national policy and also program policy, we can suppose that everything is compliance with union requirements. And the main aim of EU policy, yes, as you know, is protection of our natural environment, also reduction of hazards to humans, to our climate, to our biological diversity. And one of the main unions, European Union's plan is a European Green Deal. And this plan is for sustainable economy. So everything, all these actions, they involves, yes, different topics, different fields, and all of us, we have to take and to make more ambitious environmental goals. Yes, also our program, and it's, as Dominika mentioned today, we have separate priority, yes, for such environmental things. Also provision of clean, yes, price appealing and safe energy, mobilization of the industry sectors for clean and closed circular economy. So all these things, zero emission of pollution, yes, from field to table, creating different eco-friendly food systems. So all these things, they are very, very, very relevant for our program, and I would say it's horizontal principles, yes, looking to our program priorities, and we are looking from every project, from every action, such things which could minimize existing negative impact. Negative impact, and will contribute. All activities will contribute to reduction of into our environmental pressure. Yes. So, and looking to our program vision. So our program vision is United by Sea for Action for Blue and Green Future. And we have innovative, sustainable, attractive, and active South Baltic. So everything is within framework of European Green Deal, I would say so.
Now, very good to hear that, because this is such an important issue. So I'm very glad that you took it as a horizontal, and you think that every project will contribute to this subject.
Yes, thank you very much. And the next question goes back to you as well, Diamante. It's a bit of an open question, so we'll see what your answer is. What is the best thing to take from the previous projects to the new ones?
Oh, it's an easy and difficult question, but I think the best thing is to take good cooperation atmosphere. Yes, already you have good partnerships. Yes, already created. If some newcomers will come to our program, so of course it's already existing program management structures. Yes, already we have different program tools which could be used and to join to some activities or some actions. So I would say, yes, just take lessons learned. These lessons learned are described in our program document, and I'm very encouraged to read this special part of our program. And when you will have even more possibilities, more ideas to implement and to find even better solutions in the future.
Thank you very much. It's like life. It's like learning.
Yes.
Learning along the way.
Learning.
Thank you.
So now more practical questions. So from your perspective, Diamante, what do you think, what is the added value from this this cross-border cooperation, and what is the most important thing to take into consideration when you are forming the new consortia?
Yeah, good question. But anyway, I would say we are coming back. Yes, when we are forming cooperation, so it's very important trust. Yes, already relations what we already have with other partner countries, and also I would say not to be afraid. Yes, to look for new solutions, even they are not relevant for you at the first glance. Yes, if you think so, but during project implementation, you even when you collaborate with different partners, you even can see added value of even you don't apply the solution in your institution, yes, but having joint common events, common discussions within partnerships, so you can get real added value from participation in the project.
Thank you very much, Diamante. for this very interesting input and perspective of the future cooperation.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the next one goes to Alexander, who's the contact point in Germany. We've already had some thoughts on this question, but perhaps you can take it from your perspective as well, Alexander. So what are the main differences in the program thematic portfolio of the new program in comparison to the current one?
As you thank you very much for the question. And as you said, there was a discussion how to react with or how to handle this question, because mainly me, I would say everything related to the differences between the running period and the coming period. And in my feeling, the main focus or the main difference is that it's strongly focused on sustainability. So these ecological aspects will be the main focus, also the main financial contribution from the program to make our region more sustainable. And this is somehow very important. And as Michael say, also the transport area is not only in this innovation area, so the priority one, but I also see it somehow in some aspects in the priority two, because also there you have this sustainability, and we are changing from the classical transport to the sustainable transport. And I think that is something what we should definitely address, because that will be the future. Without a sustainable connection between the regions, we have a problem. And that's why I think it's good that we start to focus on this sustainability in all areas. And even in the priority one, the innovation part, there are tools addressed you need also for the sustainability. And especially the digitalization is now necessarily in nearly all areas. Yesterday we just were in Szczecin, so on the Polish side, and there were a long discussion about healthcare, and also there, healthcare without digitalization is not really something what is the future, and you will find it nearly in every area, this digitalization. And also in the environmental area, even if you think about distribution of renewable energy, there's a question of digitalization, because it's a very complex process and not easy to handle. And even the cooperation should increase with cross-border cooperation if you would like to have more and more renewable energy. And if you came to Germany, you realize that we have a lot of windmills. It's sure, it's a good source of renewable energy, but what we should do when the wind is not blowing? We need there fast communication with other regions from where we can get in this time the energy, and they can get energy when they needed energy. So the connection between the regions should be much closer, and also in the area of energy when you use more and more renewable energies. And all these aspects are very interested, and we could contribute a little bit to this. And maybe it's also something where I feel that is a benefit, that we can also now involve small and medium companies, bring them together with the public hand to really start to work on solutions. And demonstrate them also under real conditions. And I hope that this will also give an input also for more circular things, more renewable things, also in the industry sector.
Yeah, thank you for that. I really like that, because, like this, like there's this new sentence that just, like I read somewhere, that the cooperation is new competition right now in these days. We need to cooperate, because otherwise we are alone. But how do you think, like you have a great experience with the business world and with the SMEs. So how eager are these SMEs to join the program and share the knowledge and what they achieve with their competitors?
I think the competition is not longer the main problem. I get the feedback that several companies, especially from our field, from our environment, they're really interested in this international cooperation. And I think what could be a real benefit from the program side is this stronger cooperation between the public hand and the small and medium companies, because there's still a gap between both sides. And my feeling, it could be really great to inform both sides, the companies about the strategy of the regions, where they would like to go. And on the other side, the companies can inform the public hand about the possibilities, so that they can show them more possibilities, for instance, for more sustainable acting, more sustainable use of energy in the buildings, and they are having more intelligent lighting, for instance, in the houses, and they can save up to 30% of energy just due to having intelligent lamps in the building. And there are so many areas where the small and medium companies has ideas where to go, and I think it could be a good chance to learn from both sides. And as I said before, I think it's a chance also for testing and implementation, also for green solutions. So there are very small companies having great ideas, for instance, for lakes, for renaturalization of lakes. And it would be great if we find some test areas also in our region, together with the public side, with the municipalities, to realize some of these projects. And they don't have a problem with the competition. Often they just would like to demonstrate that there are possibilities available, and they are quite often very open for cooperation. So the cooperation is more these things than the competition. I think the competition is not so difficult. We just have a meeting from many IT companies from Czechia with German companies, and there was never the problem. Oh, you could be a competitor. The only discussion was how we can do something together, how we can use also personal capacities together. So I don't see any problems, not really problems regarding competition between SMEs, and they are really willing to share their knowledge. Even this knowledge share opens up business opportunities for them, because when they are demonstrating that they are able to do something innovative, others could also see and say, okay, it's a nice partner, interesting solution, let's cooperate with them. So it's also for them a benefit. Maybe this answers a little bit the question, but I think we will learn also during this upcoming period a little bit about this involvement of SMEs. As you said, it's new for us. And yeah, I think also for us, it could be a learning process.
Thank you, Alexander, and I can only agree with your sentiment there. I see it as well here locally in south of Sweden as well. When you bring businesses and small medium companies together, you have very interesting ideas of innovation that naturally doesn't take place if you don't put them in the same room. So it's not a matter of competition. It's a matter of cooperation. I think we lost Monica. The internet on her side went down. She'll jump in when she can. It's the world we live in now. Unexpected things like that does happen. But the question goes back to you, Alexander. Again, how do you assess the programming period from a regional point of view? Was it easy or was it difficult?
This is a really very difficult question, because there's no clear answer. It's for some partners, skilled partners, it was easy. for those who have project departments have experiences with international projects, I think it was not so difficult to participate in the running period. There are much more difficulties or challenges for the newcomers and for the new partners, especially to learn how the Interreg is working, how the reporting is working. I think the work itself is not the problem, but all these reporting part is something new for them. And sometimes even the personal capacity is a problem for newcomers, because they have to keep in mind that they need someone who's responsible for such projects. And this was a learning process. And I think some of them also learned that they really should just use the existing structures, use the support of, for instance, of the contact points. There's a network of contact points, and they can just ask us. We try our best to support them for in every question they have. And also the JS is every time open to find solutions with them, and to find show the newcomers how to deal with all the requirements they have. So my feeling is that the openness of the program and the program bodies to support all the newcomers is really important for them. And still there's a lot of possibilities for simplification and trying to make the program easier for the newcomers. But I know that there are regulations also from the EU side we have to keep in mind. So that is a balance. And my feeling, it works for those partners, for newcomers, but they have to have a definite. They definitely need to have a size, so it's not working for a very small non-for-profit association. For them, it's better to find another partner like a municipality who can apply, and then they can work together with the municipality on a project. I think there was a project. I think it was Baltic for All or something, where first there was a small sailing association involved, and then they switched it to the municipality because it was much easier for the municipality to be a partner than this small association. So also this should happen sometime, but at the end this project was a success story. Even if there was a change within the project time. And as long as we are so flexible to find solutions, I think everyone would be interested to participate.
Okay, Alex, thank you very much for that perspective from Germany. Now we'll move into a section of more. We still have some time left, and we have some general questions to throw at you in the panel. So we'll see who picks up the ball when we throw it out there. I would also like to remind you that you can still ask questions in the chat for the entire group to answer. So please use the chat functions if you have any questions as well. So a question of a more general nature, and I have some insight into this as I'm the project manager for an Interreg project. Do we expect any simplifications for the beneficiaries in the future program perspective? It's a hot potato to answer. Who dares to answer?
Maybe I can try. This is really a tough question because this is not solved yet. So we consider use, of course, of simplified cost options in the next programming period, mainly of the shelf options which were proposed in the common provision regulation. But most probably we will continue with the 15% flat rate for the office and administration. Joint Programming Committee also discussed simplification for staff costs, for example, usage of unit cost based on 1,720 hour method, also about flat rate of the direct staff costs for travel and accommodation, also lump sums for closure costs. However, there is no final decision taken so far. This discussion is still ongoing. Our aim is to make reporting and administrative issues easier for our beneficiaries. Some improvements are also implemented when we speak to a SL system. So basically that's the situation. That's how it goes right now. Every specificity for this and all the technicalities will be published later on in the program manual. So this is still open topic for the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. It's good to hear that you're working on some changes to make it easier for us as beneficiaries. I also have a question for you again, Michelle, when it comes to local S3 strategies and smart specializations here we're working quite heavily on them now here locally in Blekinge. How does S3, basically the question is, how does S3 strategies impact the evaluation of project proposals? Is that a factor in the evaluation or a factor in the process?
Yes. This question can be interpreted in to be honest, in two ways. As the JPC maybe do not assess or evaluate project proposals in the sense of selection projects for funding, but because this is the role of the monitoring committee. However, smart specialization and other strategies, policies, regulations on different administrative levels were taken into consideration during first stage of the programming process, and they were carefully analyzed by the external contractor PwC advisory company together as well with the Joint Programming Committee when the socioeconomic analysis and then the program strategy was prepared. And on the other hand, mentioned monitoring committee when assess projects for the purpose of the selection for funding, check projects in the light of strategic documents from the South Baltic area, to which it strongly contributes, and this is the one of the strategic assessment criteria, which is a part of the project quality assessment. So in at least two major cases, common regional needs, constraints, challenges, and opportunities are taken into consideration, which then directly results in the shape of the future program, and later on it will be also in the implemented project. So we do assess those documents very carefully and try to address the needs which are identified and the challenges, etc. So it's like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. It's very interesting and a good answer on that question. We have a question from the audience, which I would like to address to Diamante. If you're still here, yeah, I can see you in the list of panelists there. Thank you. This one is from the chat, and it's Tommy Lindström from the Energy Agency in Sweden, I assume. Are there possibilities for investment in pilot sites within the program?
It's still under consideration. As you know, implementation issues will be discussed later by monitoring committee, yes, and all requirements for applications, how, yes, for the project, for the actions will be described in the program manual as the later stage of the program implementation. But taking into account our current experience, yes, very good examples of already implemented projects. I suppose our intention is to have such possibilities within the program, and for sure for pilot investments, yes, in pilot sites or in some areas of the programs. My answer would be yes. We will seek that it will be under eligibility requirements of the program. And I see Alexander wanted to contribute.
I will jump in for a second, because I have super huge, like internet issues about the digital. We are talking about the digitalization, so this technology can help us to connect, but also, like it's putting us in a very uncomfortable situation. So I was out for a while. So yeah, I'm saying that I'm back. I don't know for how long. David, floor is yours, and thank you for helping me.
Alexander, you had a perspective on this, right?
Yeah, I just answered as also in the chat, but I see it was in direct message. Yes, I also expect that there will be a possibility for investments, but you have to keep in mind that the budget of the program is not very large. That means it will be small scale investments, so also only for piloting. And as we learned it also in this period, it should be a clear cross-border benefit. And this should be demonstrated very clear. So it's that it's not only an investment that influence your region, it should be also influence regions also in the partner region. So that's, you have to keep this in mind, and that's not so easy. So it's the investment is a very difficult topic, and still I expect a long discussion about this.
Thank you, Alexander. I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this panel debate. Thank you very much, all the panelists, for your very good participation and interesting discussions we've had. I want to give the floor to Christina, but Monica, do you have any closing comments?
No, I'm just very happy that we are all here and we can just hear about the new perspective, and just as a future beneficiary to prepare for that, like from this micro level to just building our consortia, but also like taking into account this like global perspective and what is happening around our super nice region, that we just need to really take into consideration all these trends and also influence the trends in the world. So thank you very much for all this very various perspective on what is happening.
Thank you, Monica. Back to you, Christina.
Thank you very much, Monica, and thank you very much, David, and all the panelists for this very active panel discussion. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience. I think that this is very valuable for our participants. And before we move to the next part of our event, we would like to keep this moment and to make print screen, let's say, photo of all the participants. So I would like to ask you to turn on your cameras so we're all visible and have nice memory from this event. I personally made this moment of taking real photos during the events, but I do hope that we will do that next year. So please turn on your cameras and smile. Let's wait a few more seconds to make a few photos so we can choose which is the best one. There are a lot of participants, so it will take us a few more seconds. Okay, thank you very much for that. So after this productive panel discussion, let's have a look on another success story of Cobium project. So I will ask my colleague Mate to show us the video.
Ladies and gents, do you want to be hip, sustainable, and practical at the same time? Let me present the cargo bike, the alternative to your car. Nope, didn't say replacement, but alternative. It is obvious that it is great for the transportation of your most precious things. And less precious things, such as your favorite stormtrooper, which, after 10 years, is now blacklisted by your wife. You know how everybody appreciates you being climate-focused? And even your workplace uses it. For delivering that box, or holding your tools, or taking whatever. That last mile. In fact, almost everything fits into the bike. Yes, a day off with your kids. Does this look familiar? You just need to ask yourself, who do you want to be? This guy? Or this guy? No one is saying it is forbidden to have a car. Just think about a smooth alternative. Thank you.
After this inspiring video, we are going to breakout rooms as was picked up during the registration process. So it's either a Q&A session on seed money call or discussion how to create real impact in the future by implementing projects. And after this session, we will come back to the general room and I will ask representatives of each breakout room to summarize the discussion. And discussions in breakout rooms will last for approximately 40 minutes. So in few seconds, you will be redirected to breakout rooms and see you back approximately 5 minutes after 12.
Hello, good morning. Welcome in the breakout room dedicated to the ongoing seed money call for proposals. Maybe we can wait a few seconds just to allow all the registered participants to get in and to feel comfortable here with us. I see the number of 32 participants and it's still growing. Yeah, but I guess we can already start. My name is Małgorzata Skolmowska. I work in the Joint Secretariat of the South Baltic Programme. And today I have a great pleasure to conduct this Q&A session together with my colleague, Marta Nieciejewska.
And good morning. My name is Marta Nieciejewska, and with Małgorzata, I deal with project issues at the Joint Secretariat of the South Baltic Programme.
Yes, so just please note that this session is also being recorded. The aim of the session is to explain all the issues, doubts, and answer the questions related to the seed money call for proposals. we have received a number of questions through registration, and we have prepared a presentation where we noted these questions and we provided answers to that. I will go through this list later on the meeting. But before I start the presentation, I will ask Marta to present some more details about the seed money call facility itself.
Thank you, Gosia. Just let me remind you about some details about the seed money call. It is a competition-based call financed from the current financial resources of the South Baltic Programme 2014-2020. The aim of the call is to facilitate preparation of projects to be implemented and financed from the future South Baltic Programme edition 2021-2027. The seed money projects must be implemented by at least 2 partners from 2 different member states of the program area. And the project itself should last no longer than 4 months and no later than 31st October 2022. Probably a very important thing that finances are finances. The reimbursement will be based on predefined lump sums, which is a novelty. The total budget of a single project should be 40,000 euros if the project decides to organize an on-site event, or 32,000 euros if the project implements an online event, online workshop. That means that a single project can receive between 24 to 34,000 euros ERDF co-financing. Deadline for sending applications is 5th of November, 4 p.m. Central European Time, and the applications should be sent electronically to a dedicated email address. All the details of guidelines and submitting applications on the call can be found on the program website. So I encourage also to go and to screen that. And these are the basic details, but before we go on with answering the questions, let's just have a little warm-up activity with menti.com. I will share a link to a direct Menti. And I am encouraging you to join a little warm-up activity. Just let me share it with you. The code for menti.com is, I hope, visible right now on your screens and above the logo of the event. So I can see that people are joining, but let's wait a little while. It will be a simple survey, no hard questions asked, and I hope it will help to guide us later on during the session to see the involvement and the interest in the seed money call. I encourage also to tap this little hand to let us know that you're in and want to join. Oh, it is right. The number of us is rising. As I said, there will be no tough questions, just a little warm up before we start. So it is 25 of us, 26. Let's move to the first question then. Do you plan to apply in the upcoming seed money call? You have 3 options, yes, no, or don't know yet. So let's see, what is the interest? Are we having future applicants with us? It's just over 2 weeks now to the deadline of the call. So I can see that 21 people is planning to apply. Very good, very nice to hear that. 4 are hesitating, and 1 is for curiosity here with us. And the second question is, under which specific objective of the current program you plan to apply, if you do so? So let's see. Let's see your interest. Now I can see that majority is interested in green technologies, but the numbers are rising. So as I said, the green technology seems to be the most interesting for our participants of the session. Just after that is sustainable transport, and oh, it is rising still, sustainable tourism. A little bit less are interested in SME internationalization and innovativeness and cooperation capacity building, but I hope we will guide you from all the details of the call that will enable you to join. So thank you very much for this little warm-up activity. And now I'm giving the floor to Małgorzata. Thank you.
There's no sound. Małgorzata, your mic.
Just a few seconds to set everything. Just let's just wait.
Yes, now I'm back, and I hope you see my presentation. In the presentation, I would like to present the questions which were sent to us through the registration form, and we will provide the answers. In technical terms, I would like to just give you information that this presentation will be uploaded to our website. It will be available on the program website after the event, so there is no need to take notes. And if during my presentation there will be some new questions, some thoughts come to your mind, please don't hesitate and type them on the chat. Or after the presentation, you will also have the possibility, if you prefer, you can raise your hand and let us hear you and let us hear the question. The first question, which is the most common, and it was already repeated several times, is about this project relevance to the current South Baltic program, to the current list of specific objectives, and at the same time the need for addressing the future program measures. So what does it mean? Let me maybe briefly remind you the list of current program specific objectives and future program measures. So currently we have internationalization of SMEs, innovativeness of SMEs, we have tourism, green technologies, sustainable transport, and cooperation capacity. And under these specific objectives of the current and sometimes even called old program we are applying now. We also have in the portfolio a specific objective 4, skills development, but this one is not open now for the seed money call due to lack of funding. In the future program, we don't have any longer specific objectives, but we have measures And these are focused on digitizing the region, building connectivity through internationalization. The priority Sustainable South Baltic is focusing on green energy, on sustainable use of water, and supporting circular economy. We have also developing sustainable, resilient, and innovative tourism. And we also have strengthening the cooperation capacity. So in some parts, this list, the measures are similar to the specific objectives, the old specific objectives. However, I would like to clearly indicate that there is no predefined link between current and the future measures. So there's no direct connections. So it doesn't mean that if you apply now in, for example, innovativeness, you have to go to digitalization or whatsoever. The seed money project must be relevant somehow to both, to the current program and to the future program measures. They should stand with one leg in the old program, but at the same time addressing the future program challenges. So, for example, I can clearly imagine that projects applying now in transport under priority, under specific objective 3, and we have no direct measure dedicated to transport activities in the future program, but they can be still addressing future program, for example, under digitizing the region. So, for example, digitalization of processes in ports or in public transport, or another example, for example, using the green energy in vehicles. So there is a lot of possibilities, and it all depends on the ideas you have. In technical terms, I wanted to present you where exactly in the application form you should refer to the current specific objectives. So here on the Excel template in the sheet project summary, you see the list of specific objectives you have to define under which specific objectives you're applying now, so under current program, and automatically you will have the priority access. In the next field, you have to describe your challenge, which you're going to indicate in the future program, in the future project, and this challenge has to be has to tackle the challenges identified in the future program, but at the same time, it must be related to the selected specific objectives, so to the current program. Below, under the same sheet, you will see the field 2.2, where you will have a list of future program measures. And here you have to indicate under which future program measure you are going to develop your project, your future project. And you have to describe how the future regular project will contribute to the achievement of the future program objectives. The next field is also related to the future program, so you have to prove that how your envisaged objectives will contribute to the future program goals. So this was a bit of technicalities and practices in regarding to the question. Next question, which was also repeated, was about the cross-border workshop, which you are going to organize within the seed money project. Let me just start with the workshop itself. They should involve representatives of institutions relevant for the subject you want to tackle in the seed money project. It should serve the aim of networking, of building the partnership for the future regular project. And there are two types of events possible to be organized. Of course, they have to be a cross-border workshop, but they might be organized as an on-site event, so the physical meeting, but as also having the situation we face now, it's also possible to have an online event, and different lump sum applies depending on the form of the workshop. There were questions related to the conditions, how we should assess if the workshop is online or on-site, especially in case that the on-site event is kind of hybrid event. So there are physically people involved and there are some online participants as well. So the program sets no requirements as to the number of participants or number of international travels. We kind of recommend that some rational event scale should be planned. It's good to use your experience and to, when planning the event, planning the scale of the event, the scope of the event, to apply a reasonable experience from similar events and apply and reflect reasonable costs of cross-border events. What does it mean? For example, if we have a meeting organized by institution and there are people meeting physically in the premises of this institution, like 10 people, and for example, some other people join from other institutions, but from the same city or the same region, and people from other member states, other regions are connecting online, this we cannot treat as a cross-border on-site event, because this cross-border aspect is rather online, not physical. Yeah, that it does not have the characters of cross-border physical meeting. In the application form, you are asked to provide description of the planned event, and this description should prove value for money if you choose on-site events. So it should provide value for money. It should prove value for money for this kind of event. And of course, this event-specific data reported at the end of the project, so included in the workshop evaluation report, will be checked against the description provided in the application form. Some questions were related to involvement of private partners to the project. So for the seed money project now, it's not possible to have SMEs as a direct project partners, as they do not meet the partners eligibility criteria set up in the program manual. However, we encourage you, and as it was already even emphasized during the plenary session by David, that this mixture between business and public, so the triple helix model or wider models, we very much recommend you to apply. So we recommend you to invite such partners to involve even to the cross-border workshops. You can invite them, and you can cover their participation cost from your lump sums. And in the future regular project, finance with the future program, it will be possible to have them as a regular project partners with their own role defined, with the responsibility defined, and with their budget, which includes ERDF co-financing and also own contribution. Next question on my list is related to organization of workshop with partners of the a future potential project, can you cover the potential partners' costs of travel and accommodation? So basic answer is yes, because as we do not base on the, you do not report on the real cost, the lump sum which is given to you within the approved project, you can spend it to all the activities needed to develop the project. So also participation of all relevant institutions, representatives, which might help you in developing the project, which may provide you some expertise for the project development, expertise in the field you would like to address. At the same time, within the lump sum, you have to bear in mind that from this lump sum you have to cover FLC costs, if this is relevant. So if the partners are from the decentralized FLC system, which is Lithuania, Denmark, and Germany. And of course, from the lump sum, you have to cover any other costs like administration costs or project closure costs, as we do not have such a category of costs within the seed money facility. There is only lump sum. Fifth question. Are all partners required to have their budget? So the answer is yes. I can imagine that there might be ideas to have to submit a project in the partnership, but one of the partner is having like 90% of the lump sum attributed to their activities, which is not possible actually, because the project implemented within the seed money should also prove joint implementation and joint financing. So in the share of the budgets between different partners of the seed money project, you have to prove, you have to reflect in this share that the project is being jointly implemented and jointly financing. There were some questions related to time of reporting. So the deadlines for submitting partial and joint reports are the same as in our regular projects, so as defined in the program manual. So it is 15 days after project end to submit the partial payment claim to the FLC. And then, in principle, FLC has 90 days for verification, and the formal deadline for submit joint report to JS is 120 days. However, and this is very underlined with a big bold line, that we recommend you very much to agree with your FLC on the earlier verification, because this verification will not be based on checking real costs. It will be only checking if relevant share of lump sum was applied. So it should not take long for FLC. And we also very much recommend you to submit the joint report to JS also as early as possible, because we would like to reimburse you as early as possible as well. On the next questions, it was a question related to the errors in the application form at the application page. So will this application with formal error will be automatically rejected? So the answer is actually no, because formal mistakes are usually clarified during project formal assessment. And we also have an experience to clarify some other issues even after project approval. So project may be approved with conditions or clarifications which are solved later on before signing the subsidy contract. Yeah, but still we of course recommend you to fill in the application with the due care and to do it the best you can. Next question is regarding the physical workshop And what if pandemic prevents from organizing such a meeting? Will the partners have to send back the co-financing, or will it be possible to complete the activity as an online event? So in principle, the project should be implemented in line with the application form. So you have to think it through if you would like to apply for on-site or online event. However, in case of unforeseen conditions, it would be possible to change the form of the workshop from on-site to online, but this situation should be very well justified. It has to be communicated to GS as soon as possible, and this will be treated really individually. This kind of change requires changes to the subsidy contract, so administrative change of the documents, and as the seed money projects are very short, only 4 months, such an administrative change may not be possible if it's communicated late in the project implementation period. So we really advise you to implement the project just as it is stated in the application form and sign the subsidy contract. Is there any support for the development initiatives of the South area in terms of protection of environment? So yes, the future program portfolio has this big priority access, big in terms of wide number of measures, and also a quite high budget, sustainable South Baltic, and within this priority there will be the focus is put on green energy, sustainable use of water, and circular economy. Two of the last questions which I would like to answer is, shall the seed money project deliver the final version of the main project application? So the answer is no. The only obligatory outputs from the seed money project is to deliver the project concept paper, for which the template is provided on our website, and the cross-border workshop. So report from an on-site or from an online event. And the last question is referring to the partner search issue. So the program has no kind of facility for or database to find a project partner, but we have a network very well operating of program regional contact points, which offer you support in partner search. The network of contact points, the people are also contacting with themselves. They have their own networks, and I'm sure they are able to help you in finding relevant partners. You can find the contact to regional contact points on our website. What we can also recommend you to check the project database already being implemented in the program, and to find the list of institutions which already have experience in implementing our projects. And some last information about where you can find more details about the call itself. So the call announcement documents are available on our website, and under this link you can find terms of reference, you can find templates for concept paper, for the application form. In September, so a month ago, we have organized a seed money call webinar, which was also organized in the form of Q&A session. And the report from this webinar, so answers to all the questions added, is also published on our website. So I recommend you to check this report. And last but not least, we also offer you the opportunity to consult your project ideas. If you would like to have it discussed with us, you can write to project officers, and we can agree on online consultation. And this opportunity is open until 29 October, so end of next week. And that's all for me. It's time now for your questions, either in a chat or by raised hands.
Thank you, Gosia. And thank you very much, Magda, for sharing on the chat and information on the partner search and facilitating a partner search. It is very nice to see that you are open for networking and you're help networking. So if you're seeking for partners, please reach Magda Leszczyna-Rzucidło, who is offering her help. We have also one question from Eva about the total budget of the seed money facility. And let me just answer that right now. The total allocation, so the total budget, varies between specific objectives. And currently it is estimated that the highest budget is dedicated for cooperation capacity building, so specific objective 5.1. This is over 200,000 euros, as well as a high budget is dedicated for SME innovativeness and improving the innovation level. So specific objective 1.2. This is also over 200,000 euro. The least budget, it is right now dedicated for sustainable transport. It is estimated that it is 56,000 euros. And all the other specific objectives are on average size of allocation a little bit over 100,000 euros. However, at this point, as I said, it is all estimation only, because the allocation for future seed money projects comes mainly from savings from regular projects implemented currently. The aim of the program is, of course, to calculate and to give as much as possible allocation for next projects to come. So the allocation, the funding available will be recalculated at the moment of the monitoring committee decision. As I said, to allow dedicate as much funding as possible for the best quality of seed money projects submitted in the call for proposals. So I hope it answered the question of Eva. And again, this is the same question from Mats. So we have, I hope I answered that. I encourage also to publish on the chat or raise hands if you have more questions, either technical or content-wise for the seed money facility, as this is an opportunity to contact us before the deadline of submitting applications. I have to admit that before this session, I also received some more questions. Some of them are technical, some of them are about the connection with the next programming period of the seed money facility. So we were asked at JS when a first regular call will be opened. So before maybe I answer that, I will quickly answer Eva that could you please repeat the date for the consultation with you? JS consults project ideas until 29th of October. So until 29th of October, it is possible to contact us to schedule a dedicated consultation session.
And maybe just to, sorry, Marta, I will just add that if you would like to apply for a consultation, we asked you then to send email to project officer, preferably the one dedicated to the specific objective under which you would like to apply. And also sending us short information, a description about the idea for your seed money project, including the specific objective of the current program you would like to apply within, and the future objective, future program measure within which you are planning to apply, and description of this idea. Basing on that, we can schedule the meeting with us.
Thank you, Gosia. And before we continue, I will just come back to the question about the first regular call to be opened within the next programming period. And this we assume that will be possible in late 2022. As we saw in this in the beginning of this meeting, the process of consulting the future program is still ongoing. It is still many steps to go. That's why we assess that here this is a good moment to prepare a seed money concept. And later on, the regular call for proposals most probably will be open in the second half of 2022. So let's go to the chat back. And we have a question: does all partners need to have budget related to both outputs? Or could you only have budget associated with just one output? In general, 2 outputs delivered by the project are required. The program expects a concept paper and a workshop. Financing, joint financing is one of the criteria that ensures joint development and joint implementation of the project. However, also the role of the partners in the seed money should reflect their capacities, their future involvement in the regular project. That's why this is very individual to assess, and from the point of view of the most important maybe is this joint development and joint implementation, as well as I said, joint financing.
Mm-hmm. And yes. if I would just can add that we have 2 outputs, but we can also set only 2 outputs. And I cannot imagine the situation that some of the partners do not take part either in preparing the concept paper or is not participating in the workshop itself. And in developing any of these outputs, at least staff involvement is needed. So either like staff involvement in the terms of time devoted to participation in the workshop, or working jointly on this concept paper. Yeah, but as Marta said, there is no formal requirement to that. The joint financing, joint implementation, and the value for money is assessed here.
We have another one. Is the seed money project, in the seed money project, will the bigger partnership obtain more points in the evaluation, or having minimum 2 partners from 2 countries is enough? I will begin with answering, and Gosia, please feel free to also to join. The number of partners is not equal with the number of points. This is the first thing that I want to say. The partnership should be balanced, and this is very important. This should ensure the cross-border cooperation. Should also be based on, as we say, triple helix model, but should include partners from different sectors to allow to bring this added value to the project, maybe this kind of cooperation. There is no such rule that the more you include partners, the better quality of the project you bring. So, as I said, the best partnerships are those balanced ones, those cooperating well, and it ensures networking between different sectors.
Yes, exactly. Nothing to be added from me.
We are running a little bit out of time because I can see the session is almost ending. But quickly, could you please repeat the end date for carrying out 4-month seed money project? Was it October 31st, 2022? Yes, it was. It was October 31st, sorry, 2022. So this is the final end date for the seed money projects. Also, you will find it in the application form. So I hope this guidelines helps in application form.
Yes.
I encourage quickly just to write more questions to us on the chat, as we can later on address it during the summary of this session and publish it also on the program website. So if you have anything in mind, please write us and write to us, and we will address that. Gosia, would you like to?
No, just referring to the last questions, that projects may start already in March, already after the decision. We thought that this there is this time slot given to the projects to be implemented within 4 months. As there is a holiday time in between, you have to plan this time to be good for your partners, for the experts you want to involve, that think it wisely to use this 4 months in a good way, yeah, not to, for example, not to lose this holiday time, which might be also difficult for some to work on the seed money activities. So that's why this kind of quite long period is given for implementing of 4 months project. Yes, the project has to be maximum 4 months. It can be shorter, of course. If you think you can manage shorter, then it can be shorter. And of course, you don't have to wait and from the official project end date, the dates for reporting then are counted. The first possible start is just after the decision of the monitoring committee. However, this is kind of on your risk, because this subsidy contract is not signed automatically. We usually need some time to do the administration and to sign the subsidy contract. But yes, the project can start already after the decision, which is end of February, expected end of February next year.
I can see that we need to quickly just go back to the main session. So thank you for the questions. I wish you all a success in the call, in the next call, and see you in a few minutes.
Maybe just quickly answer this 20% rule. There is no, the rules of the current program applies. So, so if the strategic part, this 20% is still kind of applying in the seed money call as it is in the normal projects.
Hello, everyone. If you could turn your cameras on, if you feel comfortable, so we can see each other and meet each other better. My name is Katarzyna Sempowicz-Lipska, and I'm the Information and Communication Officer in the South Baltic Programme. and I'm happy to welcome you in the room. Create real impact with your project and maximize its results. The idea of the room is to answer questions. What can project do in the future? How should project develop in the future? What are projects' plans for the next perspective? And the European Commission expectations are to upgrade projects, to progress, to step forward. It should be something bigger, better. So we are encourage you as you see compatible projects to join forces and develop together another project. It does not have to happen in the programming area. Now projects can reach further than that. And there is a huge expectation that the next perspective, in the next perspective, small and medium enterprises will bring an impact on the programming area. So we have Antanas Sabanas with us, who is a project officer responsible for the SMEs development thematic area, and who will elaborate more about this and other important aspects impacting the future of the South Baltic project. If you have any questions, please ask in the chat room. And Antanas, it is over to you.
Thank you, Katarzyna.
You're welcome.
And thank you everyone joining us to this large South Baltic family event during this time. So basically my involvement will be following. I will briefly present how we see the results and impact of the program from the program perspective, and I will try to facilitate discussion with you projects, because the experience of the projects from the current perspective can inspire you for the next programming perspective, and the experience and the examples which we have now, they are just like really inspiring to achieve more, to achieve better results, and have the more graspable future and involvement of the stakeholders. So my part will be divided into two parts. It's just a brief introduction by me, and afterwards I will ask from projects in Corner 60, Rafał Koba to join me, and Jolanta from Project C-Plan Space to have as well discussion about the projects and how they achieve those results and step beyond the expectation from us as from the program. So to make it more interactive and feasible, and to have a picture of what we are doing in current days, because I think not all of you are involved in all the possible EU funding. So to have a clear picture before you, you have to imagine like three animals: elephant, cat, and mouse. So basically elephant stands for structural funds. So cat for Horizon 2020 program, and we as Interreg is just mouse. So you can imagine what kind of funding we have, but we always try to punch beyond the weight. So in this section, we will have elephant in the room and cat and mouse game. So it will be a lot of fun and a lot of new experiences, which you hopefully will use for our program or for other just funding mechanism as well, and how to make the impact. So basically, from our expectations from each of the project is to have a clear big picture, what you're doing, and what you would like to change and how you would like to make the impact. And of course, our expectation is that at least that project before submission of the application has made already their research in advance, and if they are aware, if there are certain similar model solutions exist at least in South Baltic area, and it can be overtaken as spillover. And just because we prefer to avoid creating of new bicycle or repeating solutions which do exist, because it's really too costly using this tiny amount of money to create something from out of scratch. As well, it should be differentiated between the impact of local, regional, national, or South Baltic region levels, and as well how the results and impact is predefined in advance. And we notice as well that the most successful projects, they do see challenges where no one else noticed that before that, using from other funding facilities or instruments. So basically, how to properly use the already existing infrastructure, already existing investments, and how to create something out of that across the border and create a new feasible and graspable result. And of course, the main issue, how to invest in such a way that you achieve value for money and achieve feasible results, and especially how you integrate the project results into your existing procedures, production, and service lines of institution. In previous panel, it was a very good discussion regarding SMEs involvement, and our expectation from SMEs involvement is that those pilot solutions will be transferred to concrete mechanism and service and production lines in SMEs, and in such a way that as spillover, the competitors or partners, they will take over and upgrade the existing processes and to achieve orientation to new value chain. So basically, shortly, before moving on and discussion with projects, so those two projects, they are just purely maritime, and they are in line with the maritime profile of our program. And basically, where the key selling point was as the projects, that they really found the challenges where how to address the need for investment to areas slightly ignored at national level. So basically small ports or some solutions when basically some maritime connections, they were not used properly, and they were due to focus at national level more to investments to the railway or just roads. And of course, and they found that it's an opportunity because it is possibility to use potential to develop multimodal transport, and due to large investment to such projects like Rail Baltica, Via Baltica, this Farm and Belt Tunnel, to investments from structural funds to roads internally in the countries, it is possible to upgrade those solutions and to find new potential for from maritime perspective. And of course, so basically, as a program, we are boosting with colleagues from other maritime programs because we are pioneering in wind farms at the sea in hydrogen solutions. We do see the potential of the spillovers of some potential as Bornholm as future energy island and connectivity of those solutions from Bornholm to other regions in our region, partners from Germany and Poland. And as well, we do have the networks which are doing incredible job because they're inspiring the projects, they're inspiring new ideas, they're inspiring to take over spillovers. And one of the network which I will mention, and please and mention other one is submarine network, because some of the projects they are inspired by this network activities, and project partners, they are just they are addressing challenges which were discussed in advance. And of course, even so that we feel as a large family, our region has to specialize and narrow down the areas because indeed we are just, if we are comparing to other EU regions, we are still like not very large numbers of inhabitants. So basically specialization is a must, and we do not think, we cannot afford this luxury think about competition. We have to think only about cooperation. And Rafał Koba, can you join me?
Yes, of course. Hello, can you hear me?
Thanks a lot. I will shortly introduce your project, and please, hopefully we can proceed with question and answer session as we discussed previously. So basically, the project achieved the award for technical innovation and research of the future in Poland. It created some pilot solutions which are compatible with usage of the land transport and can be taken over, and hopefully it will be taken over by existing companies in the field with transport companies. And it inspired you and helped you out to proceed with other funding, this cat and mouse game, which I mentioned with Horizon 2020. So please go on.
Yes, we had basically two main challenges within our project. First one was the transport simulator IT tool, which is addressed mainly for the business sector and also for authorities. And the second challenge was to organize pilot trip, but not just to visit ports, but to get a real impact in the future, to real results in creating the real roads in the future between the ports. Regarding the first one, the transport simulator, we also emphasize that the cooperation, especially in such fields like IT tools, is very important, because in Poland we have many good IT companies, but in the west of Europe they have much more developed technology according to ports management and transport tools. So we decided to involve entities from not only from Poland, but as you know, we also involve our partner from Belgium, which is a very innovative port, and they have very big knowledge and experience in such tools and such solutions. Besides, we involve the great IT company from our Gdańsk University of Technology, which were responsible for creation of this IT on the basis of our algorithms. Also, we decided to find out some more SMEs, and we found a very interesting startup from France, which is called C-Roads. And we cooperated with them for about 1 year to create the roads, the connections between ports, and to create the core part of our simulator. And on the basis of this cooperation, we finally create our own roads, which are more precise, and we calibrated all these roads and locations. But still, it was very interesting comparisons. They have different approach for the realization of such projects, of such IT tools. So it was very interesting also for us to take over their point of view into our program. Besides, we cooperated with Spain. There is a short sea promotion center which is responsible for promoting short sea shipping in their region, and they had also created in the past some kind of IT tool which we can compare to our simulator, and we met with them and discussed all their assumptions, goals, and compare our tools and try to prepare something jointly. What's more, when we had our simulator done, we compared also it with Horizon 2020. There's also a great project called Aegis, and the leader of it is located in Norway. So we also cooperated with Norway. And they created an IT tool which is much more dedicated for professionals. Our is rather intuitive and dedicated for people who do not have big experience with IT tools and informatics or computers. So it's easy to use and everyone can use it. And they're prepared much more professional, but they have also very interesting functionalities which we are going to take over in the future in the next projects, and we want to create also our joint better and much more extended tool. And what's more, we also cooperate with Epicenter projects. It's a very, very innovative project from Horizon, so we cooperate with Netherlands, Germany, Canada, and USA, and the countries from Far East. And they have also other kind of approach for such IT tools, so they have a huge experience. So we will extend our simulator for the next regions. So basically, primarily we created it for the South Baltic region. Afterwards, we extended it for the Great Britain and for the North Sea region. Then we compared it with the Spain and the region. And now we are working on the shifting our solution for the Antarctic region. And yeah.
Sorry, Rafael, we are extremely limited in time. So basically, I have three very practical questions referring to my brief presentation. You are a member of Submarine network, and how it helps you out with working with projects in South Baltic area and beyond.
Yes, we are part of the Submarine, and it's a very interesting network because they gather many stakeholders from many kind of entities, universities, and private companies, and they have very good ideas from other regions also. So sometimes, yes, it's the cooperation finishes with the new projects in South Baltic region and our institute in Gdynia Maritime University. There are many projects with partners of Submariner network, and I think we think that such networks are very good for creation of partnership and projects in this program.
And thank you, because networks, I will emphasize once more, is helping to achieve the impact at the program level, not only at the project level. So my next question is how you ignore elephant in the room, investments to the large force, because if you're reading newspapers, local newspapers, everything that is going on in maritime sector in Poland or in any other countries, large force and investment to large force. How you find out the challenges and opportunities in small ports. And it would be great if we connect to small ports. Niels Heine will contribute because you notice he's participant. So how you find out, and I know that one of the solutions lead to some additional investments to small ports, which initially there are probably, not so supervised.
Yes, as you said, it's difficult to compete with huge port, and all articles and all work and all finances goes to larger ports. But we cooperate with ship owners and shipping companies from Baltic region, which do not like to work with huge ports. And why? Because cooperating with huge ports, it's not easy. It's not easy to get in touch with them. There are many restrictions, and they have huge assumptions according to staff and to ships. And cooperation with small ports is very easy. They are very open to cooperation. And for example, we cooperate with Baltic Shipping Company, the Danish ship owner, who bought a fleet of ships which only can call at small ports. So these are only small ships that call at small ports. So they are prepared only to cooperate with small ports. So there are many companies, shipping companies in this region that like to work only with small ports. Yes.
Sorry, Rafael, we are extremely short in time. And my last question would be, can you compare this, can you involve us into this cat and mouse game? Can you say in like 3 or 5 words how we can sell as a program for researchers involved in applied research in comparison to Horizon 2020? Where is our strength and selling point?
5 words. Difficult.
Please, 5 words. We are really limited in time.
Okay. First of all, we are great in cooperation. This is our positive side. Secondly, we are very open for new solutions, because still we do not have many IT solutions in this region, so we're very open. And besides, we are very motivated and ambitious to create our region much more developed and yes, and better. So mostly in cooperation and people. in this region are great. Sorry.
Thanks a lot, Rafael, and thank you that you are thinking small to create a big, solutions, and always try to punch beyond the weight. So it's amazing, and I wish you to everyone to think in such way, from such perspective.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jolanta, Mroża, can you join me?
Sorry. Sound is really useful in this situation. Once again, good morning, everyone. I'm representing Ciplan Space Project and University of Gdańsk as a leader of this project. The Ciplan Space Project full name is Maritime Spatial Planning Instruments for Sustainable Marine Governance. In fact, the project aim was to increase the quality of the labor force engaged in the MSP dialogue and the number of people who understand impacts and influence of marine governance in our daily work related to the blue growth. This year, our activities were connected with strengthening transnational skilled labor forces. Our partners are, because our project is still working. Yes.
May I interrupt you, because we're extremely short of time? So basically, just shortly by summarizing.
Yes, I tried because I want to have steps. Yes. So our partners are from all South Baltic countries, and there are different institutions, academia, NGOs, so quite different. Our stakeholders are both professionals from local municipal administrative different levels and from business as well as students. Participants were employed in very different representing very different companies, very different both private and large state-owned companies, as industries which were represented are energy, including wind energy, gas, nuclear energy, marine mining, maritime agencies, maritime constructions, real estate, ports, tourism, and about 30% of participants were students. The main activities of our first idea of our project was to prepare manuals, very practical manuals, which based on case studies of MSP and the trainings. We provided manuals are ready, in fact, are under publishing. General knowledge manual is in open access in our website, and country-specific manuals are under publishing now. As far as our trainings, which were led in 2019 and 2020, we provide trainings for almost 300 participants in each of countries, of South Baltic countries. In this number, about 160 participants were in Poland, about almost 50 in Denmark, 40 in Sweden, 28 in Lithuania, 23 in Germany. The last training, international part of training, we finished in June 2020. In 2020, last year, we thought about using our results. During trainings, during preparing manuals, we prepare a lot of materials. We have experts from each of country. We as university have experts from different kind of, from economy, from social science, from law, from ecological science. So we have two programs of trainings separately for professionals and for students. And our idea was to use it for new results, yes, for something new. And we start for mini-call funds and happily, yes.
Can I just ask you more specific questions?
Yes.
Your project, one of the key results of your project is that master program was constructed at your university dedicated to this topic. And
yes, we have basing on our programs, training programs, we prepare postgraduate, not master, postgraduate studies connected with sustainable development. This year, we prepare first edition of the study, which name is Offshore and Wind Energy, and we are doing recruitment for this study. Yes.
Thanks a lot. And my next question would be: I know that your program and the training of your project experienced large interest of the participants beyond the South Baltic, and I just try to emphasize that we have a certain areas in South Baltic which are, where we are dominating and where, the interest is beyond the region, and the strengthening of these capacities can lead to certain graspable results and impact not only South Baltic area but beyond.
Yes, as I said, we prepare new activities using mini-call funds. We prepare summer school and webinars. And in our when we promote our summer school, it shows that we have participants from very strange countries, from Africa, from Russia. Our participants from Egypt will be participate in our final meeting, which starts tomorrow. So we can see that they are interested in our program because they beg to us to the final conference. So I think the issues of maritime spatial planning are interested for different countries. Of course, there are differences how MSP work in each of country, but there are some common problems, common topics that it is interesting for different. Mm-hmm.
And my last question would be, how maritime South Baltic program shall be? It's just in few words, like 5 words.
How maritime
South Baltic program shall be? How how many how maritime South Baltic program is?
Vitro, I'm not sure what do you mind. If you could explain it in other way.
Okay, so basically, because we have some of the projects, let's say in creative industries, or just which are not extremely maritime, but your project is extremely maritime per se. So
yes,
how, from your perspective, how maritime South Baltic shall stay?
South Baltic is extremely connected with maritime topics because our localization. So I think we should remember of maritime issues. We prepare basing on the one more result of our project is Center for Sustainable Development, which was established in University of Gdańsk in January this year, and I think the last projects, our projects, and I think all of our projects of partners should be related, should be connected with maritime and with sustainable development is very important for.
Thanks a lot, and Katarzyna, thanks a lot for taking your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you, because I would like to also add a few words from my perspective as a communication officer and emphasize how important is the project promotion, the value of the project brand awareness and their visibility. So I hope my short presentation will inspire you. And can you see my can you see my screen? Yes, you should by now. Yeah, okay. So let's fly through my presentation because we have like 10 minutes to close the room. So this is basically to inspire you for the future promotional activities. So my first message to you is to go beyond the program and the local area you represent and apply for project contests and learn how to pitch your projects. Because here we have 3 examples of big contests. The first one is the Regio Star organized by the European Commission, the Project Slam organized by the Interreg program, and the EU funds Open Days, which is a local event, I mean countrywide event organized by the Ministry of Development Funds and Regional Policy of the Republic of Poland. And if you can find a relevant event in your country, you can show your project there as well. So once you're preparing to participate in such contests, you will also learn how to pitch your project. And also small steps matter. Not only big contests count, but also small contests, festivals, fairs, campaigns organized by the European Commission or just locally. So I can bring here an example of the EU in my region campaign, which is about sending your project photos, and instead you will get 300 printed postcards for free. And you can use them for your promotional activities or to publish in social media. And below you have 2 pictures from those digital postcards. Rafał Kobo, you probably recognize your postcard, which is the drone view, and the other is from Baltic for All project. I also encourage you to organize or join important cyclical events such as European Week of Regions and Cities, Interreg annual event, BSSC Forum, EU SBSR Forum, European Maritime Day. It's a must for us, as we said, we are the maritime program, European Cooperation Day, European Mobility Week, and any tourist or transport fairs. Just go creative and do and apply wherever you think you suit. And here, this is very important from my perspective, the promotional materials and their quality. I strongly encourage you to produce professional success stories and accessible videos with subtitles in English and in local languages. Accessibility of published materials is very important. And also invest in impressive photo portfolio with visible project branding. And here we have I chose just 3 project photos. So here on the left, we have Baltic for All. This project trains present sailing trainers to be able to teach sailing people with disabilities. So this is a great example to show emotions and accessibility, inclusion, and all the keywords which are very common and desirable by the European Commission. Here at the bottom, we see the representatives of the project during the International Film Festival in Koszalin this September, and they had the festival is called Integration You and Me, and they had a separate panel dedicated especially to the activities of the project. It was a great example. It is a great example of showing your projects and what you do, your mission and your results. And here we have, again, in Kone 60 pictures. I chose them because they are very good example of drone taken pictures. If your pilot site is located in a nice area, if you have a port or any other institution which is located very nicely in a picturesque, nice place, just get a guy with a photo camera and a drone and produce such videos. It's really not a big effort, I think. And biking South Baltic, we have 2 photos. It is also not a big deal to get cyclists to the countryside and or have a ride through the city and just take like proper photos. So I encourage you to produce good quality promotional project, because without photos you also cannot show your visibility. And here, a networking is a powerful tool. We mentioned here the Submarines network. So yes, join such platforms, join actively networking meetings, also organized by the JS. Here we have a screenshot for our second networking meeting, which was on the European Cooperation Day, 21st of September. And I'm almost breathless, but still 2 more points. Send updates to the JS regularly. So, I will be happy to share those results and your promo materials further, and so the world hears about your projects. And follow our program's website and social media for current updates, because we always publish what is going on, what is the deadline for applying for different contests. And thank you. So this presentation will also be in a summary article on our website. So I hope I got inspired you, and I really encourage you to think about promoting your projects, because without your projects being visible, you can't do much. As Rafał, I watched your performance on yesterday's, we all in the JS actually, you said that you have to be proactive, you have to reach out, you cannot just stand there and think that somebody will come up to you, hey, you do nice things, come work with us. No, you have to be proactive, and just, yeah, this is what we expect. So how much minutes do we have? I don't know. I think we have like 5 more minutes. So any questions you would like to, also regarding the antennas part? Somebody would like to add anything? What do you think about those promotional, the promotional approach? Do you agree or disagree? Who else? Who we have here?
Just from my side, I ask everyone, like every participant of the session, like 5 words about the South Baltic Programme. And so my vision would be during previous editions of South Baltic, we already created tools which are extremely effective. They do create impact. They help out for institutions using them properly to achieve results at really large scale. And I mean, networks do exist. They help out for institutions to find the partners and create graspable results. There are some solutions which can be taken over as spillovers to larger scale, to across the regions. There are potential partners eager to cooperate, and like small institutions, our strength is namely work with small institutions to combine them and create products which are feasible in the market, and providing solutions to not as alternative or opposing to existing solutions, but in cross-border manner to get the results which can provide such feasible results. So for instance, in project in Corner 60, the pilot solution showed that basically to bring goods by lorry takes the same time as to bring goods using the sea connection. Can you imagine that? So basically, our strength is always try to, punch beyond our weight and just be small, but extremely proactive, finding those bottleneck effects, and especially across the borders, find, clusterize, think not about the competition as in previous plenary session, it was emphasized, but think about cooperation, think big, and we are big. We are big in certain areas, in the wine farms, in the sea planning. And you notice, we are attracting the attention of the regions across, beyond us. So that's my key message.
Thank you, Antanas. I think we can all move to the main session now. Thank you, everyone, for being with us.
Magdalena?
Oh, I don't want to prolong too much. I just want perhaps one last comment. We need your energy as a beneficiary, and to make a really funny story. It was great to see all this commercial concerning new wines, and to promote our program in your project, we need your energy in your invention. That's all, and everything to me are technicals. Your energy is great.
Connect. I've got some spare energy. I can share.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So see you in the main session. Okay. Good to see smiling faces.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the main session. Let's wait a few minutes for other participants to join us. So welcome back once again. I hope you productively participated in breakout rooms and had some possibility to share your knowledge and also to get answers on the questions you were interested in. I personally participated in Q&A session on seed money call, and I must say it was very informative, very practical. We had lots of questions, and I can make conclusion that there is big interest in seed money call. So now I would like to ask volunteer from the first breakout room on seed money call to share with all their participants some sums up from this session.
Marta, what do you think if we are volunteer? So I can start.
Please, Gosia.
On our session, we had a big number of 43 participants in our breakout room. We started the session with providing basic assumption as to the seed money calls, so some details were presented and the rules. And we have investigated interest in applying by 5th November, so very soon. We have made some online survey, and we learned that there are 21 participants wants to apply. So I presume we can expect at least 21 partners willing to apply within the seed money call, or maybe even 21 seed money projects. And the highest interest seems to be in specific objectives 2.2, so green technologies. But there is also a big interest in sustainable transport objective and as well in tourism. Later on, I had a presentation based on the questions which were asked during the registration process to the annual event. We have provided the answers to these questions. And after the presentation, we received further questions through the chat, and we also answered that. And for those who would like to come back to the discussion and to the questions and answers, I would like to inform that the presentation I had and also the list of questions asked in chat will be also published after the event. So don't worry if you didn't catch anything. You will find the answers provided by us on our website. Marta, maybe I can ask you to summarize the discussion itself.
Thank you, Gosia. We had a very fruitful discussion that also confirms a high interest in the seed money call. We discussed the links between current specific objectives and future program measures, explaining a flexible connection between those, but at the same time highlighting the need to refer to that in the application form. Many questions were raised about the partnership issues. Thanks to our participants, we managed to do a little bit networking and partner search on the chat. We explained that the seed money projects should be developed, implemented, and financed jointly within the partnerships. We presented also the budget for the seed money facility itself, answering the question from the chat, as well as Gosia, you and me mentioned the budget for a single project and the possible ERDF co-financing. There were questions raised about the SMEs involvement. Is it possible to join the seed money project as a regular partner? Well, other issues tackled also the involvement of the partners from outside the region. The requirements of on-site events, technicalities of submission a project and a project duration. We will all, as Gosia said, refer to that after this event ends on the program website. So thank you very much for this fruitful session. And I hope it facilitated a little bit the preparation of future project ideas.
Thank you very much, Gosia and Marta, for summing up. And now please, the representative from the second breakout room, share with us some valuable conclusions.
Hello, everyone. So basically, we try to find out the place how the Interreg and our program can make an impact or create results in comparison with other financial instruments and tools. So basically, we played one game. So basically, because structural funds are associated due to size of funding with elephant, Horizon 2020 with cat, and indeed Interreg programs with mouse. So we played a game elephant in the room and cat and mouse game. And we tried to figure out how attractive we are for certain institutions. And we find out that basically we are extremely attractive for small institutions, because sometimes, you know, the key interest is going to large institutions in quite a few cases. And basically by combining the forces of small institutions, we can upgrade to the next level and achieve the impact and graspable results. So basically connectivity between small ports and using the existing natural transport corridors with tiny additional investment or just facilitation and combining the process is producing like really graspable results. And it seems that basically not competition, but cooperation among the small institutions, partners is driving force of our program and making impact. So I will contribute about this discussion of a plenary session that basically I think the SMEs shall think as new partners from such perspective that only through cooperation, only through partnership, we can be stronger and stronger as a region. And as well, we notice that we are developing our competitive strength as a region because some of the projects presented in our session, they achieve attention beyond even European Union, beyond our region. So our competitive advantage in the wind energy, especially at the sea, like hydrogen solutions, sea planning, and so on. So it's basically, as a region, we are just slowly developing and clustering ourselves into certain areas, and this only due to this cooperation, we are strong and becoming stronger. So yeah, so maybe Rafał can add some sentences as well. Rafał Kowa or Katarzyna?
Yes, of course, I can add something. Do you hear me now? Yes. Okay. From our point of view, what is important in such projects, especially in small programs, is to not be afraid of cooperating with international institutions. For example, we established cooperation with the government of Flanders or Polish embassy in Copenhagen, and these institutions have a huge impact on and influence on other or companies or smaller institutions, and it enables us to create much broader network. And it gave us a huge amount of stakeholders and interested entities. So for us, which work in our case, is that we are not afraid of going beyond not only the project level, but also program and also beyond the institutional level. So it's from me a small advice.
Katarzyna, without proper promotion, no results will be visible. So please add your comment.
Yes, I had a short presentation, which will be also included in a summary of this event on our website. But in that presentation, I wanted to underline the importance of the project's promotion and how important is the brand awareness of your project. So keep in mind that visibility of your project is really important, and you can achieve that the world around you is aware what you're doing through different tools, and all of it is included in my presentation. So I will be happy if you looked into it after the event. I don't want to extend the time too much. So that would be my input, and I think it's Christina's turn to take over.
Thank you very much for this conclusion, Antanas and Rafał, and thank you very much, Kasia, for your advice for beneficiaries. So we are moving toward the end of today's annual event, and I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who generously helped us to organize this event, especially to our beneficiaries and program representatives. We couldn't have done it without you. And now I would like to give the floor to Dominika, the head of the Joint Secretariat. Please, Dominika.
Yes, Christina, indeed, I would like to also thank you so much for the time spent with us, for all inspiring questions, discussions, and ideas. And before I will close the annual event of the Interreg South Baltic Programme, I would like to ask you to evaluate our today's work by filling in the survey, and the link to the survey is available on chat. So please dedicate to us 2 more minutes to make us more also aware of your opinion about the event. So thank you once again for being together for the creation of the new program and for the work within the old South Baltic program. And having this opportunity, I would like to also pass great thanks to the Joint Secretariat team and to all people engaged in the preparation of this event. So let's hope, see you next year. See you for the kickoff of the new Interreg South Baltic program, and keep fingers crossed it will be the real event in the reality on the site. So see you next year, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much on behalf of the managing authority, for all you guys, from for all panelists. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Magda, for the closure. So thanks a lot. I think the event is closed.